So I know that you probably would love to trot for half an hour, Linda, but you can forget it. The fun's over. It's canter, how we get the canter. So what I want to do is see how short, first of all, we can make his canter. Because to improve his canter so that he's not cantering on the forehand all the time, first of all we have to get him sitting, and then we have to ride him forward into a more uphill frame. So first of all, let's just see, through your half halts, and we'll talk about that in a minute, how can you actually make the canter small enough that, if you can almost think about some pirouette steps. So when and now forward again. So what I'm looking for here is Linda to bring him back into like some pirouette steps, so where he starts sitting. Now, if you take a photograph of a horse in a canter pirouette, right, we all tend to look at the top and the front, but actually if you look low down to the inside hind leg, the fetlock is where the horse has to sink. A horse that really sinks there. That's where they become elastic. That's where you have to build up the strength, that they become soft enough. If you do it too quickly, that's when you can cause injury, or you can, the horse just remains tight. Now, it's interesting because here as he gets shorter, he's not relaxed short yet. So as he gets shorter, if we look, he almost pushes off his left toe and he doesn't let down. So now forward again. So medium steps now around the circle. Now give the rein. Give the rein. Give the rein. Is that your giving? In England, I always say that's Scottish, because we know what the Scottish are like. That's like a Scotsman's give. This is an English, yes. An English give. Okay, I'm back again, smaller. So why do I tell her to give? Because really good, she can give. And I want to know that she can do that, all right? Because it's telling all of us there that Linda, we can see elegant rider, good position, and should be well capable of having the horse more on her seat and less on her hands. And can you see, when you collect it, Linda, and then you ride forward, you are allowed to do that in a slightly shoulder forward position, all right? So that the horse, if we made him go a little bit sideways, it'll help his front legs come up. Not riding forward for too long that he starts to get down again. So bring him back, think pirouette steps, release the hand and forward again. So the idea is that you get him uphill when he's collected, and instead of doing this and giving everything away when you ride forward, keep riding him uphill, all right? And up, forward, forward. If you feel the canter gets fast, then you have to immediately come back to the sitting steps again. Small, small. And at this point, she mustn't override. I would rather see her let the horse make a mistake by either dropping you or doing something that you can correct him, rather than overriding. All right? You don't, because if you're going to ride hard now at this stage, you're going to be left with a hell of a lot of sweating at Grand Prix. So this stage, we have to teach him on his own. We've pressed the canter button. He has to learn to stay in it. Good. And back again. That's it. I don't like it when you go forward for more than like 30 meters, because he then lands on the forehand again. And forward again. Now also, let's bear in mind when you see him here, this is hard work. The horse is already like working a lot harder to carry his weight. Good. And back again. Now you need to make the right side of the horse straight, because we're having too much on a curve on your left rein. Can you do a nice give again on the inside? Not that little give. And back again. And now give the rein again. That's right. That's it. Good. Why don't you also try, Linda, circle down there, and let's try a centre line and do a leg yielding canter. Now, leg yielding canter is not something that you see in a dressage test, but it is a useful exercise for a horse that needs to improve its canter. Again, if you can do it with a slightly trailing hind leg, more shoulders up to the right, along the line, more shoulders, that's it. And push him sideways a little bit to bring him more under. So can you see that if you go in a straight line, what happens is he then goes a little bit on that stiff hind leg, and as we push him sideways, of course he can't stay stiff, he has to take his inside hind across. So again, make your leg yield over to the side. right side straight, not by bending the neck so much. And now circle here again in the middle. And now let's see you make a transition to walk. So elementary level. So elementary level, you have to do canter, walk, canter. Now, did you see that transition? Not you. You felt it. So how I would describe that transition is I would describe it as obedient but not sitting. So if you are a competitor and you want to get, scores of 70% or above, you have to be able to show the judge that the horse is not only obedient, but it's sitting. You should not get more than a 7 if the horse is not sitting. It has to show that he sits and steps forward in a transition. Again, canter. So we want obedience, but what happens is you have to have him even lighter in your hand, and now he steps forward. Let him step forward, and canter again. So look at the upward transition, and again this straight on the right side, the give on the left, and now start to shorten, 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 and that was obedient, no sitting. So, it's still something, he could do a lot of these transitions, short, short, yeah. All right, don't make him rounder at the last moment because that helps him pull down better. And canter again. And why are these transitions so important? Because the canter, walk, canter, of course, is really the start of thinking about flying changes in the future. That he actually learns to do these short steps, canter pirouettes, flying changes, and go to the right. In fact, come back here. You need to do one more to the left, and then I want to let him have a stretch before we do his right canter. So just do one more on the left. I know they were getting difficult, but you can't go to the other side just yet. Just try again until the feeling is really there. And why am I making Linda do it? Because it's called riding forward in a downward. Well done. It's hard. You can see there he almost feels like he can't quite sit down yet. One more.